Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to request you all to take your respective seats as soon as possible. As you can see, with the arrival of our chief guest and the other special invitees and dignitaries, we will be inaugurating the 119th annual sessions of the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. I would like to request you all to be seated as soon as possible. Thank you. Please be upstanding, everyone, as we welcome the ceremonial procession for the inauguration of the 119th annual sessions of the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. And I would like to call upon the following dignitaries to join with us to do the honors in lighting this very special lamp in keeping with the traditions of Sri Lanka. Please welcome our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando. Our keynote speaker, Rector of the Sri Pali Campus, University of Colombo, Professor Pratibha Manamaheva. President of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, Engineer Granny R. Jailath. President-elect of the IESL and the Chairman of the Professional Standards Management Committee, Engineer Kosala Kamrudeniya. Immediate past President of the IESL Sri Lanka, Engineer Professor Ranjit Disanayaka. Chairman of the Board of Trustees, IESL, Engineer Javilal Mekoda. Vice President of the IESL and Chairman of the Chairperson of the Library Publications Publicity and Conferences Committee, Engineer Mrs. Kamala Gunawardana. Vice President of the IESL and the Chairman of the Continuing Professional Development Committee, Engineer Prabodha Jinasena. Vice President of the IESL and Chair of the Education Committee, Engineer Samantha Gunawardana. Honorary Secretary of the IESL, Engineer Suran Fernando. Honorary Treasurer, Engineer Manjula Samarasinghe. Chief Executive Officer, Executive Director of the IESL, Engineer Neil Abesekara. We'd like to call upon a representative of the Honorary Life Fellows, a representative of the IESL awardees, a representative of the Junior Inventor of the Year, and a representative of the Undergraduate Inventor of the Year, also to join the dignitaries in doing the honors. And now I would like to call upon the members of the head table on the main dais to come and take your respective seating areas. We have our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando. Our keynote speaker, Professor Pratibha Manamaheva. President of the IESL, Engineer Granny R. Jailath. President-elect, Engineer Kosala Kamrudeniya. Immediate past President of the IESL, Engineer Professor Ranjit Disanayaka. Chair of the Board of Trustees of IESL, Engineer Jayavilal Mekoda. Vice President of the IESL, Engineer Mrs. Kamala Gunawardana. Vice President, IESL, Engineer Prabodha Jinasena. Vice President, Engineer Samantha Gunawardana. Honorary Secretary, Engineer Suran Fernando. Engineer Manjula Samarasinghe, Honorary Treasurer. Engineer Neil Abesekara, Chief Executive Officer and Executive Secretary of the IESL. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding for the national anthem of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, everyone. Please be seated. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a moment of pride and prestige as we stand here and celebrate together the 119th annual sessions of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, an institution that stands tall as the professional apex body for the engineering fraternity of our nation, and at the same time carrying the legacy of excellence spanning over a century. Established in the year 1906 and incorporated by an Act of Parliament in 1968, the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka has for more than 100 years nurtured the finest minds of our nation, especially guiding the progress, setting the standards, and shaping the future of our nation, especially through the engineering brilliance. Ladies and gentlemen, today, under the theme, Professionalism, Innovation, and the National Development, we have come together not just to celebrate the achievements of the last year, but also to set the targets, chart the course for the future of engineering of our nation. Welcoming all of you to the 119th annual sessions of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, it gives me great pleasure to call upon the President for the session 2024-25. Engineer Granny R. Jailath is a distinguished professional engineer with an illustrious career spanning over 3 decades in the field of transport and road engineering. A proud alumnus of the University of Moratuwa, he holds a Master of Science in Engineering from the University of Utrecht in the Netherlands, and a Master of Science in Economics, specialized in Transport Economics from the University of Colombo. He has also completed postgraduate diplomas in Information Technology and Construction Management, demonstrating his commitment to multidisciplinary excellence. Engineer Jailath is a fellow of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka and a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Highways and Transportation, UK, where he serves as the CIHT country champion for Sri Lanka. His professional affiliations extend globally as a live member of the Indian Road Congress, a member of the World Road Congress, a graduate member of the Institution of Civil Engineers UK, and a member of the Sri Lanka Society of Transport and Logistics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Engineer Granny R. Jailak, President of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, for the session 2024-25 to welcome all of you.
Dear Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Anil Jayantha Penandu, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, and our keynote speaker, Professor Prabhat Mahanama, past presidents, President-elect, Vice Presidents, Council members, all ISL members assembled here today, and all winners and all new fellow members to be awarded today fellowship certificates, new honorary live members, UIY and JIY winners, competitors, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. And not to forget about our one representative from the NIRCC, National Research Commission, Mr. Indunil, also very well welcome. Good morning. As the premier body for professional engineers in this country, the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka has a significant role to play, no doubt, in today's context. The world's economy is driven by the advancement of science and technology, and the contribution of engineers has been paramount. Not like 50 years earlier, today, country produces engineers that falls under 24 disciplines. Ranging from soil engineering to space engineering. Major disciplines we had about 30-40 years earlier is now gradually getting split out into various sub-themes, and graduates are producing, and that trend is moving and evolving. Today we have 24, tomorrow maybe 2 or 3 more disciplines might get added. That is the trend. The institution, what you can see here, the disciplines are out of 24. The emerging disciplines that we are at the moment studying and encountering. The institution right now shoulders a total membership of around 39,000. And out of that 39,000, we have about 22,500 very active in their role. Thus, the boundaries of engineering are moving, expanding, covering not only the engineering, but integrating the social, cultural, and even behavioral sciences into engineering discipline. We have overseas chapters, 4 in Australia, and 1 in New Zealand, and 1 in UK, and 1 Qatar, and few more chapters to be added very soon. As you all are aware, right now, we produce engineering technology degree graduates also. Earlier, we had only 3 main streams, bio, physical science, and arts streams. Now, because of the 4th stream, we are producing engineering technology degree graduates. And the accreditation of these programs under the Sydney Accord is being carried out by ISL. By now, more than 5,000 By now, more than 5,000 graduates had passed out so far from these faculties. And now at the moment, ISL is accommodating them as technologists. So we had created a membership category for them also. But we still need to include them in the Engineering Council classification. So these are the way forward works that we have lined up to resolve, to include. So as the time passes, the engineering and the engineering education landscape is keep on evolving, but it's still the prime goal of engineering still remain aiming towards uplifting the living status of our mankind. Advances in biomedical technologies, smart applications, appliances, intelligent mobility solutions, AI-based devices, IoT integration, just to mention few tools, all these have brought immense benefit even right now to the mankind. And these are all due to the genius engineering innovations and inventions. This year, through our JIY, means Junior Inventor of the Year, and UIY, University Inventor of the Year competitions, we were able to have 200 innovations developed by junior inventors covering the whole country. And at the Techno 2025, we held this month, we displayed about 50 selected innovative products. Most of you would have witnessed those products of our young school children. And just to mention about, we have about 3 UII products also, university undergraduate products. So we have discussed, and our objective plan is to discuss with the Inventor Commission of Sri Lanka and that of National Initiatives and Research Development Commercialization Project, NIRCC. Together, we all is planning to bring up the most outstanding innovations up to the commercialization stage for the next year. So far, what really had happened, all our innovation, we come to know those innovations of our young engineers, young boys, young children, but only we had witnessed them, but nothing had moved thereafter. So we want to change that one, and we are going ahead with the government initiatives to take up to the commercialization of these innovations. And at the same time, one other observation that we found is the membership, active membership getting reducing. Because of that, an amnesty program was launched at the beginning of this session. And by the end of September, we were able to somehow or other to get back about more than 2,000 members with ISL. Also, we had carried out several surveys to ascertain the exact reasons of members to keep away, why they keep away from ISL. I think with those findings, we need to work out the rest of the internal strategies to keep them on board with ISL. Then ISL also pleased to inform to the membership that the government had recognized the independent role of ISL, and as a result, government had requested ISL's involvement in resolving issues faced by nationally significant projects. And further, ISL is actively now involved in identifying the gaps in existing national level development-related policies together with the relevant stakeholder institutions to make them streamline across the respective statutory bodies. For example, right now this exercise is happening in respect of national water policy, that we had 2023 national water policy. Right now we don't have one, so we are streamlining to get it across through the government and to have it implemented and pass the authority to the respective statutory bodies. Not limited to the above, ISL is taking a step to keep the general public also aware of our deliverables and our efforts towards the development of the country. Even though what we had done previously, though we have produced many policies, many guidelines, we had been used to pass those things to the government, but now it's time that we must take those policies to the general public and let them know that ISL is proposing those things as solutions. So without taking that much of time as the welcome address, as ISL is celebrating the commencement of a new session, it is very important to highlight the continuous contribution of the engineering fraternity towards uplifting the country's economy. Engineers really need to demonstrate their expertise and professional judgment in resolving problems faced on the paths towards the economic recovery of our country, keeping aside especially the person-centered approaches and agendas. Instead, adhering and respecting for the national issues common together, adhering to the code of ethics and the professional conduct. So with this small remark, I conclude my welcome address, and I wish the ISL all success in all its endeavors during the new sessions and the sessions yet to come. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Engineer Granny R. Jayalat, the President of the ISL for the session 24-25. With that note, ladies and gentlemen, here at this 119th annual sessions of the ISL, we are ready for the keynote address. Professor Mahana Maheva is a distinguished legal scholar, academic leader, and international researcher whose career embodies excellence across law, academia, and public service. Holds a doctorate in law from the University of Queensland, Australia, a master's degree in law from the University of Melbourne, and a Bachelor of Law from the University of Colombo. An attorney at law of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, is an active member of both the International Bar Association and the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. In recognition of his exceptional professional achievements, he was honored as the best young lawyer by the International Bar Association in the year 2003. Professor Mahana Maheva currently serves as a professor in the Faculty of Law, University of Colombo, and as the rector of the Sri Pali campus, University of Colombo. His academic reach extends internationally, where he has served as the Senior Research Fellow at the University of Münster in Germany and at the Communication University of China, contributing to global legal and communication studies. He holds an appointment as the adjunct professor at the University of Technology, Jamaica, and the John F. Kennedy University, New York, reflecting his influence and recognition in international academia. A former Human Rights Commissioner of Sri Lanka, Professor Mahana Maheva represented the World Sri Lanka Association at the 39th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, showcasing his enduring commitment to justice and human rights advocacy on the global stage. In acknowledgement of his visionary leadership and academic excellence, he was recently honored with the award for Principal Dean of the Year at the LEAP 2025, presented by the London School of Digital Business. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Pratibha Mahana Maheva to address the gathering.
Subha Udasana Kale Vanakkam Assalamu alaikum. Today we are gathered for a very important occasion. And also I am very glad to come and speak few words of this engineering field as a lawyer. So today, Honorable Chief Guest, my good friend, from my university days, Dr. Anil Jayantha. He is the current Minister of Labour, and my congratulations, you are the Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning. And also our President, 2024-2025, Reni R. Jayalat, President of the session, and 2025-2026 Engineer Kosala Kamburudeniya, the new president. All of you best wishes. And all the dignitaries and gathering, all are engineers. I am coming from law profession. Currently there are 23,000 lawyers, those who have taken oaths in Sri Lanka. And I heard there are 25,000 professional engineers currently in Sri Lanka. Therefore, rather than law, engineers are heading. Therefore, it's very important on my role. This institution established in 1906, January 6th. But the Council of Legal Education and Sri Lanka Law College, little bit ahead than that, 19th century. So we are going part in person. And all we do the service for the country, for the nation, and also building up everything. You know, I started my career to become an engineer. In 1983 at Royal College, my colleagues are here, Dhananjay Rajapaksha, Gamage, and also Indunil. They are all with my batch. So I studied a year to become an engineer. Then I suddenly thought, this is not fixing to me. So I have knowledge on engineering. And thereafter, I shifted to law, and then I became a lawyer. So I cannot forget my engineering friends and the engineering studies. But today I am a teacher, giving my knowledge, legal knowledge to engineers, engineering students, Morotu University, Faculty of Computer Science and Engineering, head of the department is here. And also Building Economics and Architecture, head of the department also here. So we are closely working. And I associated with this organization 3 years before to set up the constitution and the bylaws. So I'm glad, Mr. Kosala, Engineer Kosala, today you have set up that. So that's a good achievement. We did 3 years, we were suffering with that. Now, before going for this keynote speech, I must give my contribution, and I also tribute to Sri Lanka Army Corps Engineering. In the war period, a lot of bridges were ambushed, destroyed by this LTT organization. Within hours and hours, these engineers spending their own time, and they built temporary bridges. So thanks, engineers, that's how you save the country. Because of the Armed Corps engineers, they are not working for 8 hours. They are working for the system for 24 hours. I know personally. So they have contributed to build Sri Lanka to this level. So my thanks go to Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, everywhere the engineers were there. If the bridges were not there, no food supply. The United Nations Human Rights Council basically blamed why you are not supplying foods. But thanks to engineers, within few hours, temporary bridges. So that tribute we have to make. As a nation, today we are in a unitary country. So I start with one thing. I will little bit mixed law and engineering. So why law matters for engineers? Why engineers should study the law or the basic legal principles? So engineers operate in fields where technical innovations which meet public safety, business. So therefore legal principles are very, very important for them. In my short speech, I will highlight how this is important. Number one, to avoid liabilities and accidents. There are very high accidents which are not reported. In the labor department, there is only one unit, occupational health. But Sri Lanka, we don't have the ministries here. Occupational health and safety law still not there. And also, we have a policy. So most of the accidents are negligently, operating in some fields. One is where, to avoid liabilities, design flaws. I'll give example. In Vellavath, next to Savoy Cinema, Colombo Municipality Council given only permission for 3 floors. This guy went for 7 floors. Collapsed. 3 people died. Innocent lives. There is a consultant engineer. There is an architect. There is a QA. How they are liable for this? So the liability, to avoid this type of things, you should know the legal principles very well. Argentina, a bridge collapsed. Several people died. Collective liability goes structural engineer, mechanical engineer, architecture, quantity survey. So engineers, please remember, you are having a collective liability. We cannot escape with that. So if you know the law, the legal system, you may avoid. And also, protect intellectual property rights. You design many things you design. As the President addressed, Honorable President said, AI, artificial intelligence, chat GPT. Today, lot of designs you can come. You give it, they will bring it. In United States, we don't have an AI law still. But Azerbaijan, the government appointed minister in charge of AI. But in Asia, we don't have. It go with the Ministry of IT. So the target is this. In the United States, the case came up. Who should get the copyright? The judges finally said, artificial intelligence, if 100% made, no one has the copyright, AI cannot get. So we have to see how much percentage human intervention, operation, and how much we have to see in technology. Sri Lanka 2003 Intellectual Property Rights Act. Copyright, which basically having computer programs, databases, as well as websites. But other than that, we don't have. So a lot of AI things are coming. Sri Lanka is very much intelligent crowd is here. And then you have to see, comply with rules, regulations, as well as the environment. I am also professional. My profession is law. Your profession is engineering. Every one of you having a duty of care under the law. And if you breach the duty of care, you are liable in a court of law. අපි හැම දිනාටම අවධානය යුතුකමක් තියෙනවා. Because we are professionals. Professionals must act in a manner which give an example. Lot of negligent cases are there. Coca-Cola Company Private Limited, Tekavatta Biyagama CEO, also top engineer in Sri Lanka. 2015, election results were releasing, and Coca-Cola Company, all the wastewater, waste diesel, suddenly sent to Kalani River. People were watching and clapping the election results, but this water got muddy. Immediately, community, vigilant community, complained. Sri Lanka Environment Authority, sir, we can't drink this water. Immediately he was arrested, produced before the courts. Environment pollution is highly negligence. It is done by an employee. But who gave the instructions? CEO, the engineer. Knowingly or unknowingly, all engineers must know what's happening. He lost his job. A big fine was paid by the company. It's not good for the company. So where you work, it is very important. As an engineer, you have to protect that. Sri Lanka, we have a factory ordinance. Ordinance කියන්නේ law එකක් නෙමෙයි, ordinance made by British people. 1942 factory ordinance was introduced. Latest amendment came 2002. Engineers' names are there. Factory engineer, district engineer, every factory, every engineer. He's responsible. He's responsible. Whatever health and safety, Safety first, health first. And there is a district engineer. If innocent employee gets some accident, immediately he must be contacted. I have done a lot of programs in zone and other areas. I asked, where is the district engineer's mobile number? Not displayed, Honorable Minister. Because people should know this. When a case is coming up, so that is where the negligence and the liability goes basically for the company. So this is where we must think our liability. And also, a lot of engineers are migrating. They are migrating. In our university, we published an advertisement for work engineers. Thanks for the government. After a long time, they gave cadre position for us. Now, one cadre position, Honorable Council Member also here, we published, sir, for a work engineer. No one is applying. So the job is there, but maybe salary and other positions. They all migrate. They all migrate. I asked from one, no, I have applied for permanent residence in Australia, and therefore I am waiting for that. I cannot get this job. I studied in Australia, but I never stayed there. This is innocent tax people money, taxpayers' money, everything freely they have given. So we have a duty for this country to serve with our professionals. So therefore the awareness programs are very much necessary. This institution, you are having your basically codes and conduct. That is where internationally also we see these codes and conducts, IEEE, NSD, and also you have your members. One is where professionalism. In my own profession, you may have seen in social media how a member is acting with highly misconduct. This was spread internationally and locally. A professional lawyer acting in such. I am not going to discuss, this is in the courts. This is in the courts. But the problem, lawyers, we have ethics. Responsibilities for the government. Ethical conduct is very important, which is looking by Sri Lanka Supreme Court. And engineers, you have to see your conduct also. So I bless this institution. Come up with codes, ethics, code and conduct to have a discipline engineers. This is very, very important indeed. So professionalism and code of conduct, this board can set up rules and regulations, how to behave in the workplace and how to behave in the society. People are looking us. So that's why today young students are here. They want to become engineers in future. So therefore, rather than the subject, discipline is very important. Discipline is very important. This is called professional conduct. According to 2003 Consumer Affairs Authority Act, if professionals are acting with negligence, carelessly, irresponsibly, negligently, you can complain. I checked from Consumer Affairs Authority how many cases are against engineers, those who are acting negligently. Sir, people don't know, therefore they don't come. Everywhere negligence. My field also negligence, you know. Yesterday, a lawyer's court was removed. Taken money from a client, not gone. Taken money from client and then gone to another case. A lot of issues are there. So professional conduct and misconduct, you must have some awareness sessions. That is why internationally NSP, IEEE is there. And also emerging issues, basically cyber security law, Moroto University, computer engineering, they are having a lot of things. Next war is not a physical war. It's a cyber war. Cyber war. Estonia, a country. Estonia is a country. Eastern Europe. The whole set was attacked. Water, supply, everything. Electricity was highly hacked. The engineers took 3 to 4 days to set up. So engineers, you have a great responsibility. We respect engineers because they do the service for the nation. And finally, I want to highlight certain cases, how engineers acted in a different manner. Former director of the State Engineering Corporation of Sri Lanka, Bribery Commission, please remember. Anti-Corruption Commission now following everyone. Now in this case, I don't want to highlight the name, which a former director of State Engineering Corporation was arrested. Why he was arrested? This is where state money. Allegation, employees and property to carry out repair work at his own and a political party. So this should not be done. The name is going behind the engineers. Next case, biomedical engineer charged with corruption in procurement of 35 operating theater lamps. So you have to be very careful. WE or the engineer is a member of the committee, procurement committee. BOQ prepared. Other documents are prepared. You have to be very careful. So here the paper goes biomedical engineer. Why? Corruption, misuse. Third case, highway project abandoned. This is where an engineer was reportedly involved in the abandonment of port access elevated highway project, which has further delayed in completion. But the government, present government, they can't do anything. So engineers, we undertake the duty, we must perform the duty. Otherwise, the whole country is suffering. Lot of traffic congestions are there. So I don't want to elaborate this case. What I am telling, if I undertake one duty, I must do it. So please, this institution having a great responsibility to have some sessions on this. Last, not least, COPE, you know the famous COPE committee, slams CIDA for harassing staff, spending rupees 15 million on court cases. Court cases, you have to spend money. So more and more cases are here. I am just elaborating this. I can see former Procurement Commission Chairman also here, Professor Vidikar. So we have to work with the system. We have to help to carry out the government policies, as well as finally, professionalism, which is highly declined in the legal profession, Sad to say this. So people are looking and people are blaming. Munta නිදහස් අධ්‍යාපනයේ ඉගෙනගෙන නීති පීඨයෙන් අවුට් වෙච්ච මොනවද මේ කරන්නේ කියන එක. It should not happen to an engineer. This should not happen to an engineer. To protect your goodwill, to protect your name, to protect your institution, have a code of conduct. Thank you very much for giving this brief up.
Thank you very much, Professor Pratibha Mahanamaheva, Rector of the Sri Pali Campus, University of Colombo, making the keynote address here at this 119th annual sessions of the IASL. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the presentation of the award to the Most Outstanding Engineer 2025. Engineer Dr. A.C. Viswalingam Award will recognize the most outstanding engineer who has shown exemplary commitment in engineering and who has contributed to Sri Lankan society through engineering practice, innovations and resourcefulness, good governance, commitment to safety and environmental stability, whilst always adhering to good ethical practices. A very generous contribution made by Engineer Dr. A.C. Viswalingam has enabled IESL to award an attractive prize for the Most Outstanding Engineer at Valley. This is a lifetime award for the professional engineer who is a current corporate member of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, and it will be awarded to recognize multiple and varied noteworthy works rather than a single achievement. The following were the members of the prize awarding committee. We had Engineer Priyal De Silva, Chair and the past President of IESL, Engineer Shamidranath Fernando, Past President of IESL, Engineer Dr. Kamal Laksiri, Past President of IESL, Engineer Razal De Silva, Engineer Kumar Pathirana, and Engineer Indika Valpitage. I would like to call upon now our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Anil Jayant Fernando, to step forward, please. And he will be accompanied by Engineer Granny R. Jailath, President of IESL, Engineer Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, immediate past President of IESL, Engineer Priyal De Silva, past President of IESL and Chair of the Prize Awarding Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the most outstanding engineer 2025, Engineer SMA Nelugolla. Congratulations, Engineer SMA Nelugolla, and would like to call upon Engineer Nelugolla to say a few words. And thank you very much, the presentation party. Engineer Nelugolla, if you can come over here, please. Thank you very much, presentation party. You may take your respective seats. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the most outstanding engineer 2025, Engineer SMA Nelugolla.
Good morning, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, members of the Council of IESL, respected members of the Prize Awarding Committee, veteran engineers, colleagues, and friends. It is a profound honor to stand before you today as a recipient of the Dr. A.C. Viswalingam's award in 2025. I am deeply thankful to Dr. Engineer A.C. Viswalingam, whose name this award proudly bears. At the outset, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to Irrigation Department, the IESL Council, and the panel of eminent engineers who have deemed to me worthy for this recognition. The depth of their evaluation and the thoughtfulness, questions, and insight they offered were themselves another reward for me. Dr. Viswalingam is not only a nationally and internationally recognized engineer, but also a visionary who devoted his life to the advancement of our profession. His professionalism, integrity, and dedication remains a timeless inspiration to all of us. He continues to be an icon for our young engineers, reminding us to serve our motherland with pride and to uphold the dignity of our professionalism. I warmly encourage our members to take part in these programs, these competitions in coming years. My career spans nearly about 40 years. I began in the private sector and worked about 9 years there as a construction engineer. Thereafter, I spent more than 27 years in the irrigation department, serving in different categories, from irrigation engineer to the director of irrigation. And finally, I retired as an additional secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing. I will take a few minutes to talk about some milestones in my career. Between 2000 to 2006, I served as a resident engineer in Value Diversion Project, RE. This project had a lot of problems during the past, and it was delayed from 1994 to 2000, 6 years delay. But with the dedicated team of young engineers at the site, and also the strong guidance we received from the head office, we were able to complete the job in 2006 completely. We modernized the critical component. We work long hours than normal and enhance the public safety and ourselves, optimize the cost as much as possible, and successfully completed in 2006. I will tell this one. Before the project, the value area, it's in Tanamallila, poverty gripped area. Majority of the people living in the area mainly depend on the slash and burn cultivation, called chain cultivation. Many families survived on single meal a day at those days. They walk to their places. Only few had some bicycles. That is the condition before the project. Now, today, prosperity has taken root. The transformation is visible everywhere. You can see banks, vehicle sales centers, large houses, 2-3 or 3 stories, wholesale traders, and numerous vehicle owners in different categories. Now, it's reflecting a far-reaching impact of the success of the project. We are very happy on that. During this period, I also initiated Professor Miyawaki method, in Japanese method, for the restoration of native forest around the construction site. That one worked me very well, and in 2015, I got the National Environment Award for that achievement. Next one, immediately after the war is completed, war is finished, normalcy established, in 2010 to 2014, I was working in Mana district as a chief resident engineer. We rehabilitated 3 major schemes: normal rice bowl area of the giant tank, Agathikurubu tank, and the Viadiculam tank area. And then this is the accelerator program. We revived over 40,000 acres for paddy land in a working condition. Restoration was carried out in tandem with the demining operation. It's a difficult work, but we did it with the help of a lot of people. So we were working closely with the army to avoid such situations. We upgraded as much as possible tank capacities. We didn't go for the new tanks, but we upgraded the tank capacities. We installed electromechanical gadgets, galvanized gates, and solar power systems, and especially we excavated a new transbasin spill canal for the giant tank to avoid the long outstanding problem of inundation of 2,000 acres due to a flood water of the giant tank. Now that problem is no more. Then, in addition to that, there were 2 consecutive flood events. Therefore, we happened to rehabilitate the tanks. We rehabilitated over 80 small tanks and their canal system. And especially, not in engineering, but we introduced the model farm there, and we introduced them the dragon fruit and Tom Agency mango in a 10-acre farm, model farm. So helping to rebuild the livelihood and ensure the food and water security in the area, and we make the communal harmony once in a war-affected area. Very well established. So then I transferred to Anuradhapura. Then I was requested by the Honorable Minister and the DGI to work in the Monraga district. So Monraga district also a arid zone. So from 2016-20, we focused on again to enhance the tank capacities because it's a practical solution to water scarcity. The challenge especially made greater by the sanctuaries and the elephant corridors that occupy more than 50% of the district area. Though our teamwork and our innovative work, we strengthened and raised the bunds of the more than 10 or 12 tanks, and we were able to add 10,000 acre-feet of water capacity to the existing tank. So that was sufficient for more than 3,000 acres. So again, we commissioned we had some long outstanding projects called Mutukeliya Canal, Demaliya Canal, and Hangungara Canal. More than 15 years delaying. So we completed within a 2-3 years period and commissioned those things. And one special thing, there had been a problem of inundation in Kumbukkangwaya Anicut area. Kumbukkang Anicut is a very ancient structure, more than 125 years old, but it had the inundation problem during the rainy period. What we did was we installed electromechanically operable GI gates. So within 5-6 minutes, every gate can be opened. Now the problem is solved. We also proposed new reservoirs, Kumbukkangwaya, Kolallavatta, and Diggalahela, covering over 18,000 acres in future. All survey areas were georeferenced and tied with the national coordinate to support future engineers to continue the work what we started. Actually, these successes were not mine. This is a teamwork. Everything built on teamwork, trust, and shared dedication from field engineers and technical officers to the policy makers of the irrigation department and our ministry. So therefore, I remain deeply grateful to the Director Generals of Irrigation and the Secretary to the Ministry of Irrigation and Water Resource Management for their guidance and the confidence they place with us. When I recall my vast stretches of paddy lands and the canal length we revived, and the joyful faces of the farmers during the harvest time, I feel immense happiness and gratitude. To my mentors and who guided me, my colleagues who stood beside me, and communities who trusted us always. To me, engineering has something to do with everything. And it has always been more than a profession. It is a lifelong calling to improve lives and protect the environment for generations to come. In closing, I dedicate this reward to my teachers, superiors, colleagues, and my young engineers who work with us, who continue to serve in this country in this passion and integrity. May the vision of Engineer Dr. A.C. Vishwalingam continue to inspire us to innovate, to serve selflessly, and to strengthen our nation through engineering excellence. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the most outstanding engineer 2025, Engineer S.M.A. Nilugolla. And now I would like to call upon President IESL for session 24-25, Engineer Granny R. Jayalat, accompanied by Engineer Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, immediate past President for the session 24-25, and Engineer Neil Abhisekara, CEO, Executive Secretary of IESL, to step forward, please. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to present a special token of appreciation to our keynote speaker. Please welcome one more time, Rector of the Sri Pali Campus, University of Colombo, Professor Pratibha Maheva. Thank you very much, Professor Mahana Maheva, attending the 119th annual sessions of IESL. So with that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon the presentation party to take your respective seats. It's time to call upon our chief guest to address the gathering. Dr. Anil Jayant Fernando is a distinguished Sri Lankan politician, economist, and financial professional currently serving as the Cabinet Minister of Labour and the Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning. A prominent member of the National People's Bar, NPP, he entered the parliament following the 2024 Sri Lankan parliamentary elections, bringing with him a wealth of experience in economics, finance, and governance. He holds a doctorate in business administration, a master of business administration, international business from the Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand, and a master of business administration of finance from EAP European Business School, Paris, France. Also possesses a postgraduate diploma in accounting and financial management from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, underscoring his strong academic grounding in both business and fiscal policy. A fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and the Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka, Dr. Fernando has long been recognized for his commitment to financial integrity, strategic leadership, and economic reform. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Anil Jayant Fernando to address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Engineer Rani Jayalat, the President of the Institute of Engineers of Sri Lanka, and already Professor Pratibha just left, our keynote speaker, Pratibha, the past President, Council members, and other office bearers, and engineers, including young inventors, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure and honor to stand here before you to join this special event in celebration of 119th annual session, accompanied by the recognition of innovations of young inventors as well. First of all, just thank you, and at the same time, I congratulate engineers and young inventors. Now, we have formed a new government. If you look at a government, it's a normal thing, so government is formed and some government are toppled down, so it's a process, it continues. If you look at physically, there is no difference. New people come and take charge in the government, hold positions, different portfolios, and many stories are just after that discussed in the political arena and the social sphere as well. So it's very normal, natural. So therefore, this change also may be seen physically as another change. New people have taken a government in a way so that is commented by saying, okay, in a way, even apparently in this government, there are professionals, engineers, academics, educated, likewise. So we look at that physical structure and may appreciate. It's okay. But there is something inherent happening and something very fundamental is there in this government that we have to understand first. It is none other than, it is really, in true meaning, it's a people's government. Why do I say like this? Because the forming a government is getting the mandate of people. So therefore, we are vested with huge power, enormous power to do something big for the society. But at the same time, that power creates a risk as well. Enormous power given to us has the potential of serving the public on the one hand. This is why we took the power. But at the same time, in general, there is a risk that that particular power can be used for the private interest instead of serving the public. The clear difference of this government is, so we are never ever going to use this power to gain private interest. Purely, we are going to use it, and we are using, and we have been already demonstrating it to serve the public interest. That's the clear difference. And so how do we prove it? So sometimes it may not be visible in a big way, but over time you would realize these things. In one, the indicator that I can tell you, especially in forming government, the authority, the decision making power is largely given to the president and the cabinet, members of cabinet. So our cabinet members, or the president, His Excellency the President Anwar Dissanayake, we never take this power as a privilege or something that we have to embrace to illuminate ourselves. It is taken as a responsibility, an accountability. We keep this thing tight in our mind, and we demonstrate these things by actions all the time. So that is the reason why you do not see in our government there are no rifts among ministers or members. And so we have been able to work with you as ordinary people. Sometimes in a society where the minister or a politician with lots of power is seen as someone big. So we are also ready to accept it. We want a minister to show his or her power. Otherwise, minister is not seen as a minister. So that's their society, right? So I truly, just telling you that we ministers, MPs, and all the people in our government are part and parcel of this particular society. It is truly the people's government. In forming this particular government, so just the first step was with the objective of transforming this particular society to a better place. We captioned this thing in our theme called A Thriving Nation and a Beautiful Life. The first task, the most difficult task, was to take the power. It was not that easy. We happened to sacrifice and work together. In that particular journey, I remember, among other different forces, engineers also worked and contributed a lot. We formed an organization called National Intellectuals Organization, and you contributed a lot. We organized seminars, discussion, and engaged with public discourses. Then I recall today's the presentation awardee, most outstanding engineer. I recognize him by his face, not by his name. He joined us in our National Intellectuals Organization in Kandy in one seminar. He was there. So I just wanted to tell you that you contributed already to form this government. But your task and contribution does not end at that point. So you have another task, because this transformation takes longer time. We may have to face lots of challenges locally, globally. Some of the challenges would be unexpected, beyond our controls, even geopolitical challenges, but no matter how big they are, we are committed, we are ready to face any challenges by providing the required political leadership, but we need everyone's contribution. Transforming a society is a contribution of everyone. Very inherent, the quality of a human is to cooperate. We can cooperate each other, either for good or bad. But in the past, sometimes in the Professor Pratibha Manama's speech, he highlighted about some unethical practices, the supporting corruption, engagement in corruptions, likewise just serving your own interest. So that is also a kind of the cooperation. Humans can cooperate for good or bad. In the past, owing to the given context, it is very natural sometimes. If the context is bad, all the actors in the context are trying to serve the private interest. There is a natural tendency that no matter who you are, whether you are a professional, you are so and so, there is a natural tendency that you also may either cooperate that bad as well, or you may become silent. Now, we are slowly, gradually changing the context. So within such a context, we cooperate for good, to bring the prosperity, to generate value. So therefore, your task does not end by supporting to form a government, but also the noble cause of just transforming this particular society in the future. You have to do lots of things. Among different elements that we have to focus in pursuit of doing that, one key area, key driver is education and health, to bring about more capable human resources. Because we are not blessed with ample of natural resources, but we have our own resources, of course, our geographical location, the limited resources of minerals, nature, or the diversity. You may name, there are so many things, but constrained, physically constrained owing to its nature. But human resource capacity could be increased, I don't say endlessly, but to a greater height. So we have demonstrated, have shown that we have that capacity. In the engineering professionals, even in other professionals, even with difficulties, you have been excelling your capacities to show that we are highly capable of learning. I think that is a key for us to help drive the economy the right direction. In that regard, engineering professionals will really enable the economy by enhancing and expanding your capacity while helping others also to expand their own capacity. But through the policy directions and the leadership, we will enable and provide all the facilities to do this the change, the transformation in the education as well. Again, if you just look at the social evolution, the role of engineers, the professionals, mankind have been struggling and learning over time. It had been many milestones where we can celebrate, where we have to worry, where we have to confess, and so many things. Among them, one of the important milestones in the human society in terms of economic development is the Industrial Revolution. So where engineers' role, professional roles should be commended highly. After this Industrial Revolution, the landscape of the production forces change. Initially, people just collected the resources that they had, the technology that they gathered by learning, doing things with equipments, very primitive level. The raw materials, in most of the cases, your production was very primitive. Not that much up to a high productivity level. But after the Industrial Revolution, it is a fact that the production will increase exponentially. So that is the boom in the economic development as well after the Industrial Revolution. So now, by taking the advantage and outcome of these industrial revolutions and the learning, so science and technology is really opening up new avenues and expanding to greater extent and finding new innovations. Now we are talking about technology, AI, so many things like you may name. So you know everything. So that is at that high level. Scientists are experimenting now. I don't say that just to find immortality, but sometimes so they may talk about these things, whether we can be immortal. But of course, practical research are happening as of now. How best we could expand our healthy lives, extend our healthy lifespan. By doing something either to slow down or reverse the biological process of aging to some extent. Yes, it has brought us some results, so that could be one of the reasons why the gradually aging population is also increasing, and our life expectancy is also increasing. What matters is not the physical life expectancy, but the health life expectancy really matters. So I think scientists, engineers would contribute and to create more wonder in the future through this technological development. As of now, there is a problem. Even with this technological development, so it is a fact that, so without technology now we can think of any other aspects. Who owns technology? What happens and how the technology has gone into the production processes? Who gets the benefits? But there are lots of debates in that regard. Of course, we have achieved certain things, of course, engineers, professionals, scientists, sometimes individually or maybe partially, but still, as a country, we have not been able to be par with where the world is moving ahead. And again, if you just take the country, we have not been able to pass the benefits of these technological advancements, the science and technology, to the regional level in a way, maybe manage even level. So huge disparity is seen within the country and among the countries as well. So our one of another objective is to take the leap forward and catch or bridge this particular gap. To that, we prioritize the importance of paying attention on digitalization and investing in technology. We hope that that would not solve all problems, but that would be a catalyst and key driver of addressing many issues that we face in terms of production, maybe fighting against corruption and putting the things in the right structure. Technology also will do the better things. So in the future, with your contribution, we hope the government would really facilitate to bring the best out of engineers' contribution and the value generation in the production. So your contribution could help us to elevate the value without increasing the value generation. We cannot think of the rest. Since we have that particular potential, first we think of how best we could generate more value in the economy, where your contribution is very critical. And please join hands of contributing to that particular task. Then coming back to the political sphere. So what is the present situation as of now? You may have appreciation or criticism, different opinion about our governments or the way forward. However, I would like to highlight the fact that with lots of difficulties and challenges, we have been able to stabilize the economy. Because the economy was almost in a grave abyss. It was not stagnated. It was really going down. There was a downward trend, the collapsing. And unilaterally, the government declared the bankruptcy as well. In such a situation, it is a big challenge for a government to develop without stabilizing. So stabilization has happened. Now moving ahead, even the political stabilization has been achieved. As I just highlighted, there are no rifts in the government. So now there is a very good environment, a platform for everyone to take the next step. What is the next step? There are many things to be done. Among other things, as I just highlighted from economic perspective, we need more and more investment. Without investments, of course, we can just maintain the status quo, but not the one that we wanted, that is the exponential growth to answer the problems and the issues that we are facing as of now. So we have just created the environment to bring more and more investment into the country. So you also just contribute by bringing more ideas, views, and other things. How best we navigate this, manage this investment. First, bringing investment, promoting investment, protecting investments, and channeling that particular investment to real productive channels. So we are trying to establish highly disciplined financial management system in the country. Whatever your savings would be effectively and productively channeled, transformed into effective investments. So this is what we are doing by maintaining and holding financial stability in the country. This is happening. Among these things, so other challenges also will happen. So no worries, government is very hopeful and confident that we can face any form of challenges. Among them, I would like to highlight some structural changes that we have done in addition to the political intervention, where we have been able to establish corruption-free government, but within which another element is the law and order of this country. We passed a period where certain selected people, or maybe elites sometimes, behaved that they are above the law. And not only the elites, but also the ordinary people. So felt and accepted that they are elite, we are just poor people. We are weak. Always the weak accepted that the strong can punish and push us. So that could be the reason why sometimes the strong suppress the weak. The weak also accepts that reality. The strong also accepts. So this structure was there in us. Still, to some extent, you can see the elements of this superiority, the mentality of superiority. That's there. So that could be slowly addressed by maintaining the law and order, where so there should not be anyone, including His Excellency our President, politicians, cabinet, is above the law. So we respect. I hope, irrespective of any differences, everyone in this country now accept that law and order is just maintained. The other area is the peace. We need the national peace. We have paid a huge price, the country, due to unnecessary things, mainly racism and other petty identities. We, due to some other reasons, we have just passed through era where we uplifted, hailed it, our petty identities above the noble identity of humanity. Your religion, your nationality, your area, your race. So likewise, they were kept above the humanity in the past. And as a result, even the politicians or maybe the groups who had vested interest were able to manipulate this emotional drive that humans have. You could be easily provoked. You could be easily so driven emotionally to do certain things. So this is that is this. And that led to the devastating and bloodshedding war that waged over several decades. It is gone. But some elements are the corrupt, rogues are trying hard because they know that in a context where the law and order would be established and maintained tight, somewhere down the line, justice comes to them. So they are afraid of it. Therefore, some elements are trying hard to create some destabilization in the country, but we will never allow. But we are taking lots of measures to establish this particular peace. In this country, so we hope that we would be able to claim that the most peaceful country in this world in the future. We work for this. We have to contribute. Everyone has to join hands. And next element is the disturbance, hindrance to these efforts. There are many hindrances, as I just told you, to building the society, establishing the law and order, and bringing the peace back, just respecting the humanity. All those things are good causes, but there are hindrances as well. One of the hindrances is embedded in this economic system, the global system that is operating at global level. It is none other than it is the menace of the drug mafia and the crime. They operate in networks. Already government has taken lots of measures, and among the other things, now government has taken this task as one of the priorities. We hope that with the opiatism, we cannot move forward. The big obstacle, hindrance for the government, so we need to fight against the drug. We need to fight against the corruption. We need to fight against the crime, of course, parallelly while developing the economy. So when we take the economic engine forward, facilitating and doing all those things, by allowing the drugs to spread throughout the country, nothing would happen. We would not be, society would not be a better place for us. So therefore, this government will take charge in this, and the council has been already formed with the leadership of His Excellency the President Andrade. That would be launched. The nationwide campaign would be launched by end of this month. That is the 30th at Sugathadasa Stadium. So mainly there are other things. So and the key things. And apart from this, now we have been maintaining very good relationship with the foreign countries and diplomats. So that I would just end the briefing by inviting everyone to join hands this noble task of transforming the society. As the President, His Excellency, always says that we need to very carefully navigate the things. So therefore, we will move forward, we will march forward to achieve this global task of transforming the society where everyone will have a thriving nation and a beautiful life, slowly but steadily. So, while congratulating everyone, engineers and the young inventors, I urge to think of new ways, again innovative ways, of contributing to the society as well. Your contribution matters. Everyone has a stake of changing this particular society. We will provide the leadership. So unshakenly, we will never ever betray the mandate given to us by the people. We will do it. Please join hands. We will work together. And that contribution would really, really bring the prosperity for Sri Lanka. Then we will enjoy this shared benefit in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando. And I would like to call upon Dr. Fernando to step forward, please, being accompanied by President of IESL, Engineer Granny R. Jailath, as we are ready for the presentation of Honorary Life Fellow memberships to the senior members. Can we have Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando along with Engineer Granny R. Jailath stepping forward, please. Ladies and gentlemen, here at this 119th annual sessions, we are ready for the presentation of Honorary Life Fellows elected for the session 2024-25. We're going to start off with Engineer K.L.S. Sahabandhu. Engineer L.P. M.P. Balapitia. Engineer B.W.R. Balasuria. Engineer P. Tangamaili. Engineer D.P. De Silva. Thank you very much. Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando would like to request you to take your respective seat. And now, Engineer Granny R. Jailath, President IESL, will be accompanied by Engineer Kosala Kamrudeniya, President-elect of IESL, as we are ready to present the Honorary Life Membership to senior members. Corporate members, companions, and associates who have completed 40 years of membership continuously and who are above 60 years of age are awarded the Honorary Life Membership. They will be exempted from paying annual subscription fees from next year onwards, but will continue to enjoy all the facilities and benefits extended to other members of their class. The members receiving the Honorary Life Membership will be presented with a certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorary Life members elected for the session 2024-25 here at this 119th annual sessions of the IESL. We're going to start off with Engineer L.K. Premananda. Engineer K.K.K. Vijay would like to request all the recipients upon receiving, you may leave the stage from your right hand side. Engineer D.M.G.S. Chandralal. Engineer T.K.K. Fernando. Engineer T.L. Chandrasiri. Engineer R.H.R. Lokubala Surya. Engineer K. Sivapadmasundaram. Engineer K.A.U.S. Imbulana. Engineer L.L. Premaratna. Engineer R.W.R. Premasiri. Engineer R.S.C. George. Engineer Miss W.A.S. Jayawardena. Engineer U.A. Leelananda. Engineer G.D.U. Jayawardena. Engineer W. Vimalashanti. Engineer M.P.L.N. Piris. Engineer S.A.R. Jayawardena. Engineer D.U. Amarasinghe. Thank you very much, President-elect of IESL, Engineer Kosala Kamrudeniya. And now would like to call upon Vice President of IESL, Engineer Mrs. Kamala Gunawardena, to accompany President IESL, Engineer Granny R. Jailat, in presenting the fellow memberships. Corporate members who have been elected as fellows are awarded certificates. A fellow is a member having sufficient experience of a nature acceptable to the council involving at least 5 years of responsibility in engineering superior to the required membership. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the fellows elected for the session 2024-25. We're going to start off with Engineer HKPK Jinadasa. Engineer Dr. D.P.C. Laknath. Engineer S.L.A. Shajit. Engineer A.A.R.E. Adhikari. Engineer N.M. Abdul Mateen. Engineer A.M.N.P.K. Senviratna. Engineer S.M.S. Bandara. Engineer B.G. Gunasiri. Engineer T.A.C.H. Jayakodi. Engineer A.M.C.T.K. Attanayaka. Engineer H.S. Balasuriya. Engineer K. Nirojan. Engineer N. Ellen Salian. Engineer Rear Admiral KMMP Karunatilaka. Engineer CM Samar Singha. And Engineer HMG Jayasundara. Thank you very much, Engineer Mrs. Kamala Gunawardana. I would like to call upon now Engineer Prabodha Chinasena, Vice President IESL, to join the President in presenting some special awards. The IESL Award for the Best Paper by a corporate member published in the Engineer Journal during the sessions 2024-25. For their paper titled Laboratory Experiments on Remediation of Landfill Contamination with Preamble Reactive Barriers of Reactive Media Derived from Waste. Being a corporate member, the IESL 2025 was presented to Engineer Dr. WKCN Dayanti. It's a publication by Engineer WKCN Dayanti along with Engineer Ms. S.W. Jagoda and Engineer Ms. K.A.A. Hasini. Next we have SD and CC Award for 2024-25. The SD and CC Award for the Best Paper by an Associate Member under 35 years published in the Engineer Journal during the session 2024-25. For their paper titled Laboratory Experiments on Remediation of Landfill Contamination with Preamble Reactive Barriers of Reactive Media Derived from Waste. Being an associate member, the SD and CC Award for 2024-25 was presented to Engineer Ms. S.W. Jagoda and Engineer Ms. K.A.A. Hasini. A cash award and a certificate will be presented. Next, we have Late Engineer N.D. Piris Memorial Award for 2024-25. For the best technical paper on water supply and sanitation from the Professional Review Examinations 2024-25, from Best A paper results, the following member will be presented with a cash reward and a certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Engineer R.P. Veerasurya. Next, the EOE Pereira Award for the best paper presented at the IESL annual sessions for the year 2024 by a member. For their paper titled Conceptual Wing Design for UAV inspired by the magnificent frigate bird. Ladies and gentlemen, being an IESL member, the EOE Pereira Award 2024 was presented to Engineer SLMD Rangajiva. Then we have the EOE Pereira Award for 2025 for the best paper presented at the IESL annual sessions for the year 2025. For the paper titled The Challenge of Online Assessments in Sri Lanka, being an IESL member, the EOE Pereira Award 2025 presented to Engineer HAAKM Senviratna. Thank you very much, Engineer Prabodha Jinasena. And now would like to call upon Engineer Samantha Gunawardana, Vice President of IASL, and Engineer Janaka Lakmewan, Chair of JIY, to accompany the President IASL in presenting JIY Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, first place for Team 1 for the promotion of sustainable energy and environmental conservation. The award goes to Royal College, Columbus 7. Can we have the team members on stage? YM Ranasinghe, grade 10, PKM Premadasa, grade 10, MRN Jayasekara, grade 10, Rihan Rishi Ekanayaka, grade 10, and HAU Idrisinghe, grade 10, to receive your award with a cash prize of 25,000 rupees. And second place for Team 1, promoting sustainable energy and environmental conservation. The award goes to Isuru Samdeepa of grade 9 of Valagadara National School, Moratua. He will also receive a cash prize of 20,000 rupees. Next, the third place for the theme promoting sustainable energy and environmental conservation, and it goes to WRT Pereira, grade 10 of Anand College, Colombo 10. He will receive a cash prize of 15,000 rupees. Next, we have the theme, improving quality of life. First place goes to Ruan Valley Central College, Horopatana. Can we have NREMWWVR Vijayaratna of grade 12, WAHA Galagadara of grade 12 to receive the cash prize of 25,000 rupees and the award. And next, for the theme, improving quality of life, second place goes to Swarna Jyoti National School. And we have SPC in Bandara of grade 12 and NS Jairanga of grade 12. Swarna Jyoti National School, Kiribat Kumbura. For the theme, improving quality of life, third place goes to St. Sebastian's Balika Mahavidyalaya, Khandana, Nesandi Nihansa Rajamanda of grade 8. Right, we're going to move on to the next theme, promoting health and safety. First place goes to WJM Walpita, grade 11 of Anand College, Colombo. Promoting health and safety. Second place, Javin Ratnayaka, grade 7 of Sir John Kotalavala College, Kurunagala. Promoting health and safety. Third place, we have got joint winners. First, we have SCL Somratna, grade 8 of Lyceum International School, Anuradhapura. And the joint winners are Girls High School, Kandy. Can we have DTB Darandakumbra along with MMSN Mullegama, grade 7. Next, we have value addition to Sri Lanka's local resources. First place goes to BMTS Basnayaka, grade 12 of Malyadeva Girls College, Kurunagala. Value addition to Sri Lanka's local resources. Second place goes to A.S. Heva Singha of Mahasen National College, Rajanganaya. Value addition to Sri Lanka's local resources. Third place goes to Sandil Hasara Chanduba, grade 9 of Godapitia Central College, Akurasa. Next we have the Hydro Harvest Unmanned Water Vehicle. For promoting cultural heritage and modern tourism. First place goes to Kavisha Gayanti, grade 11 of Kolonnava, Balika Vidyalaya, Kolonnava. For promoting cultural heritage and modern tourism, second place goes to G.R.I.J. Senarath, grade 10 of Pinnavala Central College, Ramukkana. Next we have the winners been recognized for improving agriculture and food security. First place goes to Kuruvita Central College, Kuruvita. Can we have Pahasara Dineth, Tanuri, Deunda Suni, LAHVR Kumara, and HBOM Bandara of Kuruvita Central College, Kuruvita, receiving the first place award and the cash prize of 25,000 rupees. For improving agriculture and food security. Second place goes to Velanai Central College, Velanai West, Saravani. Can we have on stage T. Jeevakaran and U. Piritish to receive the award? For improving agriculture and food security. Third place goes to Vihaga Rashmika, grade 10 of Devananda Central College, Mirahavatta. Next we have education and skill development. First place goes to Desundu Sewhas, grade 10 of Malabe Boys Model School, Malabe. For education and skills development, second place goes to R.M. B.U. Bandara of Central College, Kuliapitia. For education and skills development, third place, we have joint winners. First, Aisha Haya, Girls High School, Kandy, and Zara Zainab, Girls High School, Kandy. And the joint winners for third place under education and skills development, Abdullah Aris of Hiluria Vidyalaya, Kathankudi. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to recognize now winners Junior Inventor of the Year Competition 2025. For the theme, promoting health and safety. First place with a cash prize of 100,000 rupees goes to WJM Volpita, grade 11 of Anand College, Colombo 10. Well done. Congratulations, WJM Volpita. Second place with a cash prize of 75,000 rupees. And it goes to Javin Ratnayaka, grade 7, Sir John Kotalavala College, Kurunagala. Ladies and gentlemen, third place for the theme promoting would like to request Engineer Granny R. Jalat to remain. Thank you very much to the other gentlemen. Can we have now Engineer Suran Fernando, Honorary Secretary of IASL, Engineer Manjula Samarasinghe, Honorary Treasurer of IASL, joining the President in presenting the Undergraduate Inventor of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Undergraduate Inventor of the Year. Third place with a cash prize of 100,000 rupees. And it goes to the Department of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering, University of Ruhuna. Can we have PSLD Silva, PMCD Pallevela, HN Veerasinghe, and TMNT Dayaratna to receive the award. The third place being honored for the Undergraduate Inventor of the Year. Their invention was the development of a VTOL hybrid aircraft and an implementation of an optimal control system. Undergraduate Inventor of the Year. Second place, with a cash prize of 125,000 rupees. And it goes to Department of Electrical and Information Engineering, University of Ruhuna. Can we have AU2 Ienshi, RPMR Rajapaksa, WHS Abe Sundara, RMMP Aberuan to receive the awards and the respective medals. It's for the AI integrated hand function recovery system with mobile gaming and smart glove for stroke rehabilitation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Undergraduate Inventor of the Year. First place with a cash prize of 150,000 rupees. And it goes to Department of Mechanical Engineering, University of Moratuwa. Can we have KDCS Halubovila and MAY Pereira to receive the award? They have done the design and the development of a novel vision-based PCV analyzer for efficient hematocrit monitoring in dengue patients. Thank you very much to the presentation party. Ladies and gentlemen, the next special milestone here at these 119th annual sessions of the IESL, the presentation of the medallion. I would like to call upon Engineer Kosala Kamburadeniya, President of IESL for the sessions 2025-26 to step forward, please, and he'll be presenting this special medallion to the immediate past president of this session 2024-25, Engineer Granny R. Jailath, in appreciation of his services to the institution during the sessions 2024-2025. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the induction of the President for the session 2025-2026. would like to call upon the President for the session 2024-2025, Engineer Granny R. Jailak, to induct the incumbent President for the session 2025-2026, Engineer Kosala Kamburadeniya. We'd like to call upon the gentlemen to take your seats now. Engineer Kosala Kamburadeniya is a distinguished engineer, a legal professional, and a visionary leader whose career spans engineering, management, and governance. A proud graduate of the University of Moratuwa with a bachelor's in engineering in 1993, he further enhanced his academic credentials with a postgraduate diploma in industrial engineering in the year 1998 and an MBA in 2010. In addition to his engineering accomplishments, he is also an attorney at law of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, showcasing a rare combination of technical expertise and legal acumen. An active member of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka since 1994 and a corporate member since 1999, Engineer Kamburadeniya has earned numerous professional distinctions. He is a fellow and international professional engineer of IASL, a fellow international professional engineer and a chartered professional engineer of Engineers Australia, and a chartered member of Engineers New Zealand. He is also a registered engineer with the Asia Pacific Economic Corporation. His professional affiliations extend across several international engineering institutions, reflecting his global recognition and contribution to the profession. Within IESL, Engineer Kamburadeniya has provided exemplary leadership, serving as the Vice President, Chairman of the Electrical, Electronics and Telecommunications Sectional Committee, and the Chair of multiple key committees, including Education, Library and Publications, and Legal. He has also served as a council member of the Engineering Council of Sri Lanka, contributing significantly to the advancement and the regulation of the engineering profession in the country. Beyond institutional leadership, Engineer Kamburadeniya has been instrumental in implementing several national-level initiatives under IESL and is currently an active member of the Power Sector Reform Secretariat, playing a vital role in shaping Sri Lanka's energy future. His professional journey includes key positions at the Ceylon Electricity Board, Asia Power Private Limited, and MS Holdings, where he gained extensive experience in power systems, industrial operations, and corporate leadership. He now serves as the Managing Director and Principal Consultant of K2 Consultants Private Limited, continuing to drive innovation, policy development, and professional excellence in the engineering sector. He also serves as an independent non-executive director of Pan Asia Power PLC, director positions of Red Capital Private Limited, C&K MEP Consultants Private Limited, Quad Solutions Private Limited, and ProMap Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting you the incumbent president for the session 2025-2026 of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. Please welcome Engineer Kosala Kamburadeniya to address the gathering.
Thank you, Dushan, for the nice introduction. Our chief guest today, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance Planning, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernandu. Keynote speaker, Professor Pratibha Mahanamaheva. Rector, Sri Pali Campus, University of Colombo, the President of the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka, Engineer Granny R. Jailat, immediate past President, Professor Disanayake, past Presidents, officers of the Council, Council members, recipient of the awards and certificates and their family members, my dear members, invitees, Chief Executive Secretary of the IESL, and staff, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you. Generally, this function is held on a weekday to accommodate our members who work in organizations in Colombo. But today, being a Saturday, in a long weekend, I'm delighted to see this hall is occupied by a lot of our members. Thank you very much for your dedication and commitment to be here today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's truly an honor and privilege to stand behind you today as the newly elected President of the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. I'm deeply humbled to accept this prestigious position, which I see not just as a personal achievement, but as a collective responsibility towards our profession, our nation, and our future. First and foremost, I would like to thank all the members for the trust that you have placed in me and for the historical mandate that you have entrusted to me. This support has enabled me to reach the highest position in the apex body of engineering profession in the country. I never take this mandate lightly, and I am committed to deliver you your expectations. In our lives, we value certain aspects. Some people value honesty. Some people value wealth. People who value honesty always make sure whatever they do are honest. And people who value wealth always make sure whatever they do, it helps to make the wealth. So these values plays a crucial role in our lives and determines our action. And it applies similarly for professional organizations. Most professional organizations derives its strength from its guiding principles. And there is no exception to IESL. Without clarity on what you do, what you really value, it's become difficult to identify your guiding principles. In the absence of such guiding principles, obviously our decisions tend to be ad hoc and inconsistent. Therefore, it is essential for a professional organization like IESL to explicitly identify and articulate what its values. In other words, what we value is important and critical for existence of IESL. Therefore, I would like to declare the core values that will underpin my presidency and guide our collective efforts. Those will be trust, honesty and integrity, accountability and transparency, equality, justice and fairness. I assure that the Council and I shall embed these principles in every decision we render and every action we undertake throughout this session. I feel it's worth mentioning few challenges ahead of us as a profession and as a country. ISL has the primary responsibility to maintain the standard of engineering education. This is so important, as if an engineer doesn't know the principles of engineering principles, he won't be able to apply those principles in practice. We have seen the landscape of engineering education has been changing drastically during the last few years. 20 years ago, we had only few specializations, as President mentioned, civil, mechanical, electrical, or something like that. Today, ISL has more than 24 disciplines, first degrees. And it will be further increased with the diverse requirement of the society and the industry. Mechatronics, biomedical engineering, and building services are some of such emerging fields. So our processes must be flexible enough to accommodate this change in requirements while maintaining the standards, which is quite a challenging process for us. Further, when I entered into the university, our country had only 4 universities, state universities. Today, the number has increased significantly. Apart from the state universities, there are a number of private universities inside the country as well as internationally. So we get all these students to our institution. This development has added complexity, especially since students now often complete their degrees at multiple universities and even in different countries. So assessing of standards of such a programs has become quite challenging. But we cannot simply reject these graduates, as the rest of the world increasingly accepting such qualifications. Therefore, we must find ways to accommodate this evolving requirement in a consistently changing environment. Yet without compromising the standards, which is another challenge we experience today. So our systems must be dynamic and meet constant evolution. Retaining skilled workforce has become another challenge for our society today. Due to the recent economic downturn, a lot of engineers left the country, creating a significant shortage of experienced professionals. And this is expected to worsen further over the next 5 to 10 years, if no immediate measures are being taken. This creates a major challenge for the nation's goal of economic growth. In collaboration with the government, dear Minister, we need to explore ways to establish an encouraging environment that incentives our professionals to return and prevent further brain drain. Although borders separate countries, the world is now a unified single market. We cannot fully protect our professionals from international competition due to various international agreements between countries. Therefore, it is essential to ensure that our engineers possess necessary competencies to compete globally. This highlights the importance of revisiting our continuing professional development programs and revisiting our tertiary education system. The changes in the climate conditions poses a new challenge to us, necessitating reassessment of design parameters. As a result, we will be unable to rely on some of the existing codes for our designs. We are experiencing unusual rainfalls, even last week, wind speeds, earthquakes, and temperature fluctuations, all of which impact our design consideration. Sustainability is indeed a challenge to engineers. It requires them to balance technical feasibility, economic viability, and environmental responsibility. Engineers must develop innovative solutions that minimize environmental impact, conserve resources for tomorrow, and promote long-term societal benefits, all while meeting project deadlines and budgets. This complex integration of environment consideration to traditional engineering practices present both a challenge and opportunity for engineers to create sustainable design and technology. Artificial intelligence. Yes. Artificial intelligence has taken over some of our jobs. In such a scenario, we need to see how we can make use of artificial intelligence positively for our works rather than refusing it. We need to focus how we can make use of artificial intelligence to do repetitive work and monotonous work and pay more attention that needs our creativity and intervention. So we need all these challenges. What we see is there's a need for a change, the need to weigh how we work. We are quite confident we can overcome all these challenges, but all solutions demanded one key aspect, one key behavior. Let's look at this small video for a change, as we have been speaking for a long time about the change.
This is a story of an eagle. An eagle has the longest lifespan of its species. It can live up to 70 years. But to reach this age, however, the eagle must make some tough decisions. In its 40th year, its long, flexible talons can no longer grab prey, which serve as food. Its long, sharp beak begins to bend. Its old, aged, and heavy wings, due to their thick feathers, stick to their chest and make it difficult to fly. Then the eagle is left with only two options: die or go through the painful process of change. The process requires that the eagle fly to a mountaintop and sit on its nest. There it knocks its beak against a rock until it plucks it out. Then the eagle will wait for a new beak to grow before it plucks out the talons. When the new talons grow back, the eagle starts plucking its thick, heavy feathers. And after this, the eagle takes its famous flight of rebirth and lives for another 30 years. Why is the change needed? To survive and live. We too have to start the change process. We also have to pluck our unpleasant memories, negative habits, and fixed mindset. Only freed from the past burdens can we take advantage of the present.
Okay, we also have two options. When the world is changing fast, we can be arrogant and say, no, we will continue the way we want. Definitely, we can go to the history as what happened to the dinosaurs 60 million years ago. Inability to adapt to the environment. Or, though it is painful, we can really analyze that what we are doing is right, suitable for today, and ready to get ready for the change. I invite all of you to join hands with me to embrace change for the benefit of the profession and the country. As the president of the IESL, my vision will be to forge a future where every engineer in Sri Lanka is empowered, ethical, and equipped, be to a national catalyst, driving sustainable development, technological innovation, and economic prosperity for all. Drawing from my knowledge and past experience I have gained through my life, I will propel this next year based on 6 pillars. During my tenure as the president, my key focus will be on these 6 areas. First one will be the institutional excellence and process optimization. Under this, I intend to streamline all the processes. The intention is to standardize all administrative and evaluation procedures to ensure consistency, transparency, and deliver efficient and effective services to all the stakeholders. Therefore, I would like to declare this year as the year of process improvement. The initiatives will include implementation of ISO 9001 quality standards system, developing SOPs, standardizing processes, implementing document management system, systematically review and modernize all administrative and evaluation process, implementation of performance management system, and introduction of single ID for all purposes. The second pillar will be development of competencies and learning. We will focus introducing new programs to develop competencies of engineers, especially to develop soft skills and skills required to be competitive in the international market. We will introduce internationally accredited CPD programs, and we will be doing this exercise not only at the headquarters, at all provincial chapter levels, provincial levels. Thirdly, amplify our nation's influence. We will pay more attention and active engagement in project having national level importance. Minister, definitely, so Minister, we will do that one. Already we have been doing it, and we will engage more in the coming year. Also, we urge policymakers to take decisive actions to establish required legal framework, which will include codes, standards, and regulations and rules. All the countries around us, they have building code, but Sri Lanka, still we don't have a building code. Fortunately, we have started working on a building code, but yet to go a long way. And though we have fire approvals in the country, there's no regulatory framework for fire implementation, monitoring, and fire safety. There's no fire safety protocol. We need to bring rules and regulations and relevant enactments to make these standards. Then we need to provide technical assistance to the government and semi-government entities in developing transparent recruitment and promotional procedure, which is lacking at the moment. Different organizations use different recruitment procedures which are inconsistent, and there are major differences between those schemes. Next, strengthening the global recognition and membership values. As you know, we are a full signatory of Washington Accord from 2014, and from 2017, we have the provisional recognition for Sydney Accord. Definitely this year, we are trying to move it to make Sydney Accord a full recognition. And also, we will apply for the provisional recognition of Dublin Accord this year. Also, then we will empower provisional and overseas chapters to enhance membership engagement and facilitate skills development. Upholding ethics and professional standards and governance. We will integrate code of ethics into institutional activities through mandatory professional development workshops and ensure our disciplinary framework operates with transparency, efficiency, and command public confidence. Enforcement of sound governance practice, whatever we do at IESL. Then leading sustainability and innovation. We will embed sustainability principles into our core practices and champion environmentally responsible engineering solutions. We have been working with the innovation. We have been working to create an innovation culture in the country. We will continue that one. As you heard, in 1980, we have started junior inventor programs. 45 years ago, that is to create an innovative culture in Sri Lanka. So we will go, this time there were 1,500 applications from school children. The coming year, we are trying to connect these innovations, young innovators, with the industry requirement. So we will try to do that connection with the industry and inventors during this year. This journey, which commands when I joined IESL in 1994, has led to this moment because of your collective support and guidance. I want to sincerely express my deepest gratitude for the incredible support and guidance that have shaped me into the person I am today. My parents, I thank you for raising me with integrity and strong values. To my teachers at school and universities for guiding me and sharing your knowledge. To past presidents, senior engineers, and my mentors for shaping my professional life. And to every member who has placed their trust in me, thank you. My batchmates, for being genuine friends who have always stood by me whenever I needed. And most importantly, to my wife Darshini and my 3 children, Devani, Tenuka, and Binudi, thank you for the countless sacrifices you have made to enable me to pursue my dreams. Your unwavering support and encouragement have been my greatest strength throughout this journey. I know the path ahead is indeed challenging. Yet, I am filled with confidence, not because the journey will be easy, but because we will not walk alone. Always, you will join with me. We will move forward as one profession, united by purpose and guided by shared values. I extend a heartfelt invitation to every member here today. Join me in this important mission. Let us work together to build an institution that not only upholds the highest standards of our profession, but also serves as a driving force for the nation's future prosperity. Together, we can turn challenges into opportunities and aspirations into lasting achievements. Once again, a heartfelt thank to all of you for coming from various parts of the country, representing almost all provinces, and to my friends who have traveled from overseas. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Thank you very much and all the very best. to the incumbent president for the session 2025-26, Engineer Kosala Kampradeniya. I would like to call upon once again Engineer Graniyar Jailat, President of IASL for the session 2024-25, been accompanied by Engineer Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, immediate past President of IASL for the session 24-25, along with Engineer Neil Abhisekara, CEO and Executive Secretary of IASL, to step forward, please. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to present another token of appreciation to our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning. Please welcome one more time, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando. Thank you very much, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap up the formalities. But before we do so, to propose the vote of thanks and to express the gratitude to certain individuals, teams and organizations who made the tremendous contribution towards the grand success of this 119th annual sessions of the IASL. It gives me great pleasure to call upon Engineer Neil Abhisekara, who obtained the bachelor's degree in electronics and telecommunication from the University of Morato in 1990 and master's degree in management from University of Sri Jawadanapura in the year 2000. Chartered member of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka and a fellow member of the Institution of Chartered Professional Managers, has more than 35 years of experience in engineering, manufacturing, office automation and telecommunication industry, and was also engaged as a visiting lecturer in various education institutions. He received the Medal for Excellence in recognition of outstanding performance as a lecturer and trainer in engineering from City and Guilds of London Institute in the year 2015 and 16. Also serves as the board member of the Manufacturing and Engineering Service Industry Skills Council and a member of the Science Popularization Committee of National Science Foundation and a member of the Advisory Committee in Management Systems Certification of Sri Lanka Standard Institution and a member of the Sectoral Committee on Electronic Engineering of SLSI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chief Executive Officer and the Executive Secretary of IASL, Engineer Neil Abhisekara, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dishan. Good afternoon, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando, Honorable Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, our chief guest today. Professor Pratibha Mahanama, Rector of the Sri Pali Campus, University of Colombo, our keynote speaker, who has left already. President and other members of the head table, past presidents of IASL, council members of IASL, IASL members, special invitees, heads of organizations and other professional institutions, awardees of Honorary Life Fellow Membership, Honorary Life Membership, and Fellows, JIY, UIY, and IASL award winners, ladies and gentlemen. As a practice, the vote of thanks is delivered by the president-elect for the next session. And unfortunately, our election is still happening. So therefore, we thought of delivering the vote of thanks by an independent person. That's why I'm here. As we reach the conclusion of this significant occasion, the 119th annual sessions of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, it is both my privilege and pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. First and foremost, on behalf of the institution, we wish to extend our deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando, Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, for gracing this event with your distinguished presence. Your participation has greatly honored us, and your inspiring words have added immense value to this ceremony. Our heartfelt appreciation also goes to the keynote speaker, Professor Pratibha Mahanamaheva, Rector of the Sri Pali Campus, University of Colombo, for his thought-provoking address. His insights into the role of engineering in national development have enriched our understanding and inspired us to further contribute to the progress of our nation through innovation and professionalism. I also take this opportunity to convey our sincere thanks to the President, President-elect, immediate past President, and members of the IESL Council for their leadership, guidance, and unwavering commitment throughout this session. Your vision continues to steer the institution toward greater achievements. Special word of appreciation is extended to our past presidents, whose wisdom and dedication continue to strengthen the foundation of the institution. To all IESL members, those who are present physically here and joining online, thank you for your continued engagement, trust, and contribution to the advancement of the engineering professionalism. Our appreciation goes out to all junior inventors of the year and undergraduate inventors of the year competitors for showcasing the creativity and ingenuity of the next generation of engineers. You are the future of this profession, and we applaud our innovation and enthusiasm. We also extend our warm congratulations to all winners, all award winners, recognized today for their exceptional achievements, and to the members who have been elevated to the prestigious class of Fellow, Honorary Life Fellow, and Honorary Life Member. Your accomplishments reflect the highest standards of professional excellence and serve as an inspiration to all of us. A sincere word of thanks is extended to the BMICH management and staff for their excellent support and cooperation in providing the facilities and ensuring the smooth conduct of today's proceedings. We also wish to recognize the valuable contribution of our media partners and personnel whose coverage helps to bring the spirit and message of the IESL annual sessions to a wider audience. Finally, I wish to thank the dedicated staff of the IESL Secretariat for their immense support, coordination, and commitment throughout this journey. I have to personally thank all of them for their dedication during the last few days. Your professionalism and teamwork have been instrumental in the success of this event. Not forgetting our compeer, Mr. Dushan Vas, for his outstanding performance at this event. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this memorable event, let us carry forward the spirit of unity, professionalism, and service that defines the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. Together, let us continue to build a future where engineering remains at the forefront of national development. Thank you, and have a pleasant afternoon.
Thank you very much, Engineer Neil Abesekara. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up the formalities here at this 119th annual sessions of the IESL. And now the ceremonial proceedings will leave the occasion as you are remaining to be seated. So thank you very much, everyone. Would like to invite all of you to enjoy the refreshments being served. And at the same time, winners of the Junior Inventor competition and the Undergraduate Inventor of the Year competition, you may come up on stage to take some individual photographs. Thank you very much, everyone.